It's interesting because it's hard for people to talk about their feelings. It's hard for people to talk about what they are talking to themselves. We are surrounded by voices all around. We got social media, we got TikTok, all this stuff. But when you're at home and it's just you by yourself and you talking to you, it's a very interesting thing. So when it comes to people's inside voices, first off, how'd you come up with the title and what does it mean to you? Inside Voices.
I mean, so pretty much like how I came up with it was kind of like that. Like I wanted to change my route, I wanted to change what I was doing, and then the name just came to me. It's all about just your inside voice. It's all about what you always hear. It's all about what you hear, but what never comes out. So that was like what kind of like drew me to like the name like Inside Voices. I was like, okay. And as far as like, what was the second question?
Why is it so important to you?
Because I feel like in today's society, I feel like a lot of problems would be avoided if people can just simply just sit down and just talk about how they really feel. Like in our reality, like I feel like I'm trying to find examples, but that's just that's how the base point of how I saw everything was. A lot of issues can just simply be resolved if someone can just sit down, express and talk about how they really feel, and then explain as to why they're coming from that side. You know what I mean?
Why is it so hard for people to talk about how they really feel? Like sometimes you talk to guys and like, how you doing? I'm all right. How you doing? I'm okay.
Judgment. I really do think that like people always sit and say, oh, I don't care what people say. I don't care what people say like or when they see me. I don't care. But like deep down, like let's be honest, like deep down you'll kind of like think about it and you're like, what are they thinking? Because I have buddies that they're like, yo, like, you know, I'm tough. I'm like, I don't care what they say. But then they sit down in the barber chair and as they start talking, I'm like, dude, you care. Like you care, you just don't want to say that you care.
Why do you think that people want to hide that they care or they don't care?
Why do they want to hide?
Mm-hmm. Or hide that they care, because a lot of times, like I said, you know, people may say something or anything like that and like, oh man, you know, I don't care what they said, but there's a saying that says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Mm-hmm. But it seems like words are beginning to come up on the hurt scale a little bit because they have an impact on people.
I mean, going back to, I feel like it's a generation that grew up where it's like, yo, you can't talk about your feelings. Like, I don't know, like for you guys, like I grew up in a Hispanic household. Talking about your feelings, either, what are you, gay? You like, truthfully, you know what I mean? It's like, you never really heard a tough Hispanic dad talking about their feelings from that generation. So then it's like now my generation growing up, and I'm sure like around your generation too, the same thing. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? Like, why do you care? Like I hear all the time from my dad, like, yo, like, why do you care? Why do you think about it? I'm like, it's not that I care. It's just, I just want to say that, you know, it does bother me or I don't like that.
Yeah. Now, and growing up in a situation like that, and not only for yourself, but just other people, how do you think that impacts their future, but then also their relationships in their future?
I feel like that can definitely just get destroyed. You know what I mean? I feel like, truthfully, unfortunately, some of those relationships might get destroyed because it's like, let's say, for example, like I've had a problem with you, right? Mm-hmm. Didn't want to express how I felt about that. Next thing you know, what's gonna happen? Eventually, we'll just shift. You know what I mean? Instead of like imagine like if you were my dad, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I kept trying to express to you about how I felt, or I kept trying to talk about my feelings, but you just never really cared. You never cared to like listen. Eventually, I'm gonna stop coming to you, and there might be another male figure that might be there and be like, hey, like, you know, this is how I feel.
Now, when you're talking about your inside voices, because earlier we were talking about like the environment, right?
Mm-hmm. You liked talking about, didn't you?
Oh yeah, bro, that hit home. The reason why I say it hit home is because the environment almost gives the tone of how you talk to yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
And why do you think the environment gives the tone on how you talk to you?
Because it's like, let's say I spend my entire day with you, mm-hmm. and the way that you are, happy, golly, you know what I mean? You're just a good dude, right? You go home and then you're like, oh my God, I had such a wonderful day. Yeah. Everyone's gone. The kids are asleep, the wife's asleep, and you're just sitting there and you're just cleaning things up, washing dishes. The whole time you're just talking to yourself about your day. And because it was spent with you, somebody that was good and pure, it's like you just start having all these amazing thoughts, all these amazing things. You're not gonna sit there and think, man, I really messed up today. I should, like, you're not gonna think that way, because your entire day was affected of who was around you, which was somebody that was just good. You know what I mean? Good intentions, goodwill. That's my kind of like view on it.
So would you say that other people's thoughts other people's words to you, are they contagious?
Absolutely. Some people want to say no, but like let's just be honest. Just be honest. Yeah. Like if I sit here and I tell you like, you're dumb. Like let's just be like, you're dumb. You're not smart enough. You're gonna be like, no, I'm not. Like I'm smart. But as the day goes by, you'll start to do small mistakes, right? And then those words will start to creep in. Oh, I'm dumb. Like, you know what? Maybe he was right. When in our reality, it was just a simple mistake that could have happened to anybody.
Now, what do you think, as you know, because we're giving it from a man's standpoint, but how important, because you're married, how important are your words to your wife?
Like what I say to her?
How does it impact her?
Very, because now you're going into like a woman's mindset. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like I know how my wife wants to feel. I know things that I shouldn't say to my wife. I know things that, like, to me it might seem normal. It might seem a little bit aggressive, but to my wife it might come out as like harsh. Like, dude, that was mean. You know what I mean? And it's happened to me before, like where sometimes like we're having a disagreement, and I'm not saying it in a rude way. I'm just being honest. But then to her, it was like, yo, that was fucked up. That was messed up. That was wrong, you know? So then it's like I catch myself and I have to apologize. But yeah, I definitely do think that like whatever I do say to her could also affect her. You know, like there was times like where, I'll just be honest, you know, like there was times like where we've had a disagreement. I've said something that I probably shouldn't have said, and I can just see how it just affected her the whole day. So do I think that what I say to her really matters? Yeah, absolutely.
I heard a quote that says, don't say something, I want to make sure I have it right. Don't say something when you're temporarily upset that'll do permanent damage. So a lot of times that's what ends up happening. But the reason why I wanted to frame all that together is because we see how the words in fact impact the wife. We see how growing up words impacted us. But now the question is, tell me the story on how you formed your inside voice and how has it changed over the years?
Going back to the wife thing, right? One thing that I just, from time and just lessons and like growth, right? What we do now is, if there is some, like if I'm mad, if she's mad, what we'll simply do is, hey, I'll come back to you in about 20 minutes. And that's it, because you kind of avoid that where you might say something that might do some permanent damage. So now you were saying how's your inside voice itself? I'm assuming that it's probably changed over time, it's grown over time, and it's matured over time. Yeah, absolutely.
But tell me when you started noticing your inside voice, the way that you talk to yourself, and how has it changed throughout your manhood? Like from, being young all the way up until now. I want the whole story and I want the long version of it.
I definitely feel like I started experiencing that probably like when I dropped out of college. So like when I was going for occupational therapy and I just dropped out because I was like, I don't know, one day to another, I was like, yo, this ain't it. I'm done. I don't know why, I'm just not feeling it. I don't care. Dude, I was like stressed because at that time I want to say like 21, 22. So to me, I was like, yo, my clock is ticking. I got to do something. So there was a lot of moments where I caught myself just being in my car, like just sitting in my car for like 30 minutes. So instead of normally me getting out and going inside, going to my bedroom, I was just staying in my car. And then I would like wake up and like, dude, like I was here for like 30 minutes. Like, what am I doing? Then like little by little, I started realizing that I was just started like, in a way, like I guess talking to yourself. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm failing. I'm doing everything wrong. I'm not doing nothing right. My stress got worse, and then worse, and then worse. So then eventually, I was already dating my wife now at the time.
Right.
So then that's when I started like talking to her. That's when I started expressing everything to her. Like, yo, I think I'm doing this wrong. I think I'm doing this wrong. I don't know. This is what I just keep telling myself. And she's like, but you're not. And then I'd be like, yeah, but I'm getting older already. I'm like, my clock is going. She's like, bro, you're 22. What are you talking about? Like, relax, take a breather. And I was like, all right. So then moments like that, I would go back home, and the moment that I would start hearing those thoughts, like, oh my God, you're messing up. Like, dude, I gotta get it together. Like, what am I doing? I would take like a step back, and I'm like, no, you know what? She was right. Let me just take a breather. Let me just pull back a little bit. Let me just go to sleep. Let me just play some Call of Duty and just call it a night. You know what I mean? As the years like went on, I started realizing how much that truly affects you. Like, every day I stopped saying, oh my God, like I'm failing, I'm doing this wrong. I should be doing that. And instead I started saying, oh, well, you know what? Next time I'm gonna do this instead. So instead of saying like I should have, I just, in my mind, I kept saying, next time I'll do like this. The following time I'll do like this. I don't think I did as bad as I did. Things like words like that, I don't want to say they're like words of like affirmation, but those were just words that I started changing within my vocabulary, within myself. And then that's what really helped me out, like big time. And then just, next step was being a father. So then that was another thing too, because now I realized I took a big step back. Oh, huge step. Because as a father, you know yourself too. You start sitting there and like, dude, why did I discipline my kid like that?
Yes.
Why did I yell at my kid like that? I should have just said that. I should have just done this. I should have just played for like an extra 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like as I did a growth, having a kid really set me back a lot mentally, because then it's like, I was a young dad. I became a dad at 24. So then I started feeling like, dude, I'm a kid myself right now. I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to grow. That was a hard part for me. That was a big one.
And even as a dad, like, what is your, I guess your dad voice, like when you're playing with your son, or, you're seeing them, because that's you. That's your blood. That's the person that's going to carry on the name. But that's not only that, but that's the person that you have to form their inside voice and help them talk back to even themselves.
So when I would catch myself and like, I started seeing like me as like a child in a way, like if that makes any sense. So like sometimes I would like look at him and I would see like myself as a little kid. And it was like, nah, I gotta change that. I gotta be different. I gotta see him as like my actual son and not just me. I don't wanna carry those things, those kind of like baggages and all that, and bring it to him. So if that kind of makes any sense.
It does, because that happens even with my son as well, is that I'll see him, and sometimes if he'll do something or act up or just little things, it's like I'll see me in him, but I'm like, at the end of the day, he's his own individual. Not only is he's his own individual, but I have to make sure that even some of the things that I want to curb, not saying it's right or wrong, but some of the things I want to curb that I had when I was growing up, I don't want to put that on him or put that stress on him or anything like that. I read a poem. I can't think of the title of it right now, but pretty much what happened is that the father, he was watching his son, sleep, and he had scolded his son throughout the day. And he came back, and as his son was asleep, he just kind of put his hand on, his chest. He said, son, I'm sorry that I told you to tie your shoes before you start running. I told you not to jump in the mud. I told you not to go play out in the rain. I told you not to, run and yell and scream at the top of your lungs, because I have to realize you're only 6.
Yeah.
And when he said that, it hit me, because a lot of times we want our children to be older until they get older, and then you want the baby back again.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like,
point.
yeah, it's just like, okay, how do I empower you to be 6? Also, you want the discipline to be right way, but how do I empower you to be 6? How do I empower you to be 5? Or how do I empower you to be that first grader? Because you only get that time one time.
I feel like one of the biggest, I want to say like generational like traumas is we got to the point where we no longer know how to properly discipline a kid. Because it's like you said, like, listen, like my son could jump off of this onto the floor and pretend like, you know, he was like Spider-Man or something. And it's like you would get mad because he jumped off. But the truth is, he's 4. He just wants to be Spider-Man and just jump off. But to you, it's like, oh no, you can't be doing that. Running in the mud. 4. He's 3. You know. To you, it's like, oh my God, what are you doing? But then it's like you don't understand that there's no need to like discipline him for that. So that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like we got into that generation, into like that mindset in a way where we just don't really even know how to properly discipline our children, because we were disciplined for everything. Right. We were disciplined if you fart the wrong way. We were disciplined if you sneeze the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one time I got disciplined because I sneezed like this and not like this. And now I'm like, who cares, bro? So it was this because, oh, you're spreading germs, you know, compared to this. But then it's like, when you think about it, you're just doing this and you're just still sneezing down. But anyway, that was a whole nother thing. But that's like my thing. It's like, dude, like, why am I disciplining you for something that wasn't even nothing crazy?
And it's interesting when you brought that up, this versus this, right? For those that may be listening to this, sneezing in your hands opposed to sneezing on your elbow, right? It's interesting because when you bring that up, that means that was a core memory. Mm-hmm. And one thing, and even Paul, you're sitting here too, you know, if you want to jump in, right? But one thing that's so scary as a father now is this: what am I doing today that my kids will be stapled in their mind as a core memory, right? Yeah. Because sometimes you may fuss at them and go off on them and stuff, but years down the line, that may stick. Or, you know, a way that you talk to them, good or bad, for whatever reason, they forgot the whole day but that one thing. Because kids are always processing, they're like sponges and stuff. So like you said, you know, that simple thing of sneezing like this and not like this, boom, as a grown man, you still remember that. So
like, well, sorry to cut you off, but it's just like, it's kind of what you're saying, like years later, they will remember, right? Mm-hmm. Now as a father, it's like, you look at that and then you're like, damn, like I implanted that on him. You know, like I imprinted that into his memory. Like he's like that because of me. I disciplined him so rough on that now that I'm grown, I'm like, yo, that was so dumb of me. Yeah. Like you wish you could just go back in time and you're like, nah, dude, you know what? Jump off all the benches you want and land like Superman or Spider-Man, for all I care. You know what I mean?
I already know. Now we're talking about fatherhood a little bit. I know you got something to say because, yes. Well, pass that to you. Sorry if you're hearing this on there, but actually it's a really good topic.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because like the way that I kind of feel about it is like you can kind of give your kids everything. And that moment that you don't, they'll remember it forever. Mm-hmm. And it's like me growing up, I was given the world, but I wanted these Jordan 18s because my friend Evan Wimberly, a person who I'll never forget, he had these Jordan 18s. They were black and blue. And I was like, hey, Mom, can I get some Jordan 18s, please? And she said, well, we can go to Payless and we get you some shoes. Got some red and1s, went to school, got made fun of the entire time. And I was like, man, my parents don't ever give me anything, right? Even though they gave me the world. But for some odd reason, as fathers, we really don't know what's going to be imprinted on our kids at this age when they become like 20, right? So it's like, I think that since there's no rule book, I mean, I'm sure people have made books about this type of stuff. I think just us being inside their lives is just the best thing that we can do. Right? I think just the fact that we're there and we're not like, hey man, get out of here, boom, kick in the face. But we're like actually sitting there, we're having a good time with our kids. We discipline them whenever we can. We have a good time with them. We're educating them whenever we can. I think that's the best thing a father can do, honestly. That's just my personal thing. But.
Like, so it's kind of to like piggyback to what you said. I had a client on my chair one time and we were just talking about like fatherhood, kind of like this in a way. And he's like, you know, something that I was told that I'll just pass on to you, then I guess I'll pass on to you guys here. He was like, at this age, don't worry about disciplining, just worry about educating. And I was like, oof. Because that, like, at first, to me, it was just discipline. And he was like, nah, dude, don't worry about disciplining, just worry about educating. He's like, how old is your son? I'm like, oh, my son's 3, he'll be 4 in October. He's like, oh, come on, dude, stop the disciplining, bro. Just educate him. That's it. Because I promise you, half of this disciplining is going to go from one year to the other. But there will be certain things that you don't know what will stick, and unfortunately it sticks. And I was like, okay.
It's interesting. You do it like that.
I almost tackled you.
I'm seeing something that's happening now that I am spending so much money on my kids, and they don't care. I'm taking them to Disney and stuff like that, but I'm not saying they don't care in a bad way, but what happens is that we want to give our kids experiences, but they're just glad that, like you said, you're there. They don't care about Mickey Mouse and all this kind of stuff. What they care about is, are you gonna come build Legos with me, right? Are you gonna pretend that this spoon is Spider-Man and this fork is Green Goblin? Are you gonna, run around the house with me? Are you gonna build a fort with me and stuff? They don't care about your presence. They care about your presence. And that was a quote that I heard, and I didn't understand it until I became a father. Both for my son and my daughter, they don't care about the nice things that adults care about. They just want to know, is daddy going to be there? Is mommy going to be there? And do they see me?
Yeah.
Because that's what they always say. Dad, watch me. Blah, 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 blah. Dad, watch me. Did you see me? Did you see me? Right? And sometimes when we get so caught up with sometimes work or, trying to save up to do these big things, they don't care. They just want to know, do you see me? And are you there? If you see me and you're there, that's all that matters.
Like, I'll get my son like the toys that he wants, like the toys that he really, really wants, right? I'll work my back away, and I'll get that back pain for him. You know what I mean? I'll get him that toy. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's your toy. Let me sit down for a little bit. He won't even open it because he wants me to watch him open it. Like, I remember a couple weeks ago, actually, we bought him a toy that I knew he wanted. I'm thinking it's already gonna be open, I can just chill. Tell me how the toy wasn't even open for like another 2 hours because he wanted to open it while I was there. So I'm like, all right. So I understand what you're saying. Like, sometimes it's not about the presence, it's about the prince. Press, whatever. I got so tongue-tied.
What do you do?
I'm a barber.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you got the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm never used to having my beard this short, so it's like if you see me like doing this a lot, it's because I'm a little like, yo, it's missing. Like, I'm like missing big time.
I feel like barbers are like therapists for dudes.
They're what?
Therapists.
Oh my God.
I feel like you like sit there and you like get clients and they tell you about their entire life and you have to be like the best, like an Uber driver. You have to be really good at small talk.
I mean, listen, man, I got clients like, real quick side note, like I got clients that like will literally tell me like, yeah, I got the missus here and I got like my girlfriend over there and it's not really clicking. And I'm like, you telling me you got like 2 families going on? I literally have like, I can promise you, I got at least 4 clients that have different families. Like, bro, it's insane. Like, why would you be telling me this? And he's like, yeah, no, like I gotta get like my wife this, for her birthday, I forgot, and then it's just, I'm like, why'd you forget? Oh, it's just my girlfriend's birthday is like the fall. And I'm like, what? I have like, they're like, yo, they got kids with like other women and it's all in one, you know what I mean? And they're just like, yeah, and like, did you stop seeing them? And they're like, no, like I had, like, that's why I'm getting this haircut, it's for them tonight. And I'm like, my God, it's bad, dude, it's bad.
It's like, you gotta go home with all that. You're like,
yo, like, so that's something for real that like, I really gotta go home and like, sometimes they would just like, I have clients that would just vent. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know, like, it's simple enough. It's like, yo, man, how was your day today, Caleb? Dude. And they'll go off. Like, they'll go off. Like, sometimes, like, I'll have to slow down on the haircut because I can tell they're going in. You know what I mean? Like, in. And so then it's like on my way home, my instant voice is all I'm thinking about is just that conversation. I'm just talking about that. I'm just thinking about that. So it's like, I gotta like really like get home and like, I gotta like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not gonna even talk about that. Some of the stuff is kind of juicy though, so
Who therapizes the therapist? Like, who do you go to? Hey, listen, I heard this on the podcast. All right?
I actually did hear that word though. Therapy.
Yeah. I think it was you know what? Look it up.
I'm looking it up on chat. See if
But who do you talk to in order to get like your stress off? So like, and if it's too personal, then you don't have to say. But
no. I mean, honestly, like sometimes like I'll speak to my wife, Because like I feel like the reason why she became my wife is because she really helps me just cool down. Like she really takes off like a load off my, like she takes off a bunch of stress off of me, just like all the heavy stuff, right? She's able to then take that on and just throw it away. And that's something that I sometimes can't do. Like I wish I could sometimes take on all that stress, all the heaviness, everything that I hear from clients and just throw it away right after, but I can't because it stays in me. I then go to her and I'm like, oh my God, my day was just horrible. She'd be like, talk to me, babe. You know, she'll be doing her nails or whatever. She'll be like, talk to me. And, you know, I tell her and then she'll tell me the things that I want to hear. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And she's like, all right, cool. Just throws it away. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's why I made you my wife. Because you then help me. You are like my therapist, you know what I mean? And she's good with it. She'll just simply throw it away. And sometimes it's not even about her being my therapist. It's just about her just being that ear. Sometimes it's not even really about having a therapist. It's just honestly just about having someone to then hear you after you just heard 10 guys talk about some crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Like I have a dude that I'm like, yo, listen, like I love my family, man. Like I'm a family. I love my son. I love my wife. Oh, I wish. I hate my kids and my wife. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
That's terrible.
Oh my God.
I will say, I looked it up. Therapist is a word.
I told you. I've heard
Therapist,
it.
yeah, it is a word. It's,
Yeah.
That's right.
It's dictionary.com is subject to psychological therapy. So it is a word. And I didn't think it was a word. Well, it was a word.
So like kind of like what you're saying. So like to answer your question, I don't really. She's just there to just listen to me. You know, like I'll vent to her. I won't even call her like my therapist. I won't even say she's my therapist, because sometimes all I need is to just say everything. Just let it all out. Just let it all out at once. Take it out. Never like in a bad way. You know, just to like let it out. Talk about it. And then just the fact that she was like my ear, like listening, helps me out so much.
I believe that for right now, we're going to bring this down to a close, but I think this is a conversation that we may have to bring the ladies into, because I believe that how this specific talk, podcast, whatever you want to call it, it started off with the questions, but then it went to conversation, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, you know, what are the different perspectives from other people? But the one thing that I have a takeaway from, and I'll ask you guys your one takeaway from this conversation here. The conversation is that, well, I'm sorry, the one takeaway that I have from this conversation is that being there for your sons or being there for your kids, right? I think that's huge. When you start talking about how you were there for your kids and they wouldn't open it and stuff like that, I started thinking about like, how can I be there more for my kids, right? We all have our thing to do, but it's like, how can I be there? Be fully present, not on the phone or thinking about something else, but fully present in that moment, because we don't know what core memory, small story of sneezing in the hand opposed to sneezing there. It's just like, man, what memories of my son, or I'm sorry, I keep saying my son, what memories are my children going to take away when they get older? So that was my takeaway for today. So what was your takeaway, sir?
I think guys need to go into a group. I think we need a group of people that are just like dudes that we can just all vent to, just like in a circle. Almost like an AA meeting, but like just like where we can literally,
Alcohol.
yeah, right. But just something where we can just sit there and just vent to each other, because I think that we take on a lot, right? Just being a dude is a lot all in itself. Like you have to be like the provider. You have to be so many different things for your wife. You have to be so many different things for your kids. You have to also work. You have to be so many different things at your job, and it's like, that burden can sometimes be like that statue where the dude has the world on his shoulders. I feel like we definitely need to get into some kind of like habit of being able to talk to each other, because a lot of dudes don't have that. Like, not a lot of dudes don't have like wives like we all do, right? There's a lot of guys that sit there and struggle with this type of stuff. They get angry, they beat people up. You know what I mean? Like they just all take it out on whoever they take it out on, right? And if we can start like actually talking to each other, instead of having it be like the 90s where nobody talks to each other, bottle it up, get into some whiskey, drink it down, get into some beers. But instead of that, talk about it. That's my takeaway.
The whole reason for everything to be created was, all of this to be created was honestly that. Because being a barber really showed me that a lot of men don't ever talk about anything. Like, ever. Like, I've seen the developments of like some clients that I've had throughout the years. And dude, it's like sometimes truthfully, it's sad and it's kind of scary too, because then it's like, it shows you what it really does to people. Like, I mean, what it does like to men that really are too afraid to ever talk about anything. Bro, it's terrifying. I mean, it's bad enough that like, yo, you'll start going bald. Like, you will literally start, like, well,
This guy's holding in mad stress.
oh, man.
I've been holding it in for a long time.
I didn't mean that,
holding
Caleb,
in
but
his
you know, that wasn't towards you, but
No, it's runs in the family. It's genetics, bro.
no, listen, it wasn't like specifically toward,
Like, you just start going bald.
but like, so here's my example, right? Like, I got clients that it's like, yo, like this spot looks light. And I'm like, nah, dude, I think you're good. Dude, 2 years of just hearing their problems, but like, I know it's just here because when you get to this chair, it all comes out all in those 30 minutes. Bro, like it's heavy stuff. That little spot, man, starts to get to the point where it's like 20 strands, you know, and truthfully, I gotta get to the day where it's like, yo, those 20 strands just might gotta
It's
go.
just not there no more now. I can't put no more stuff in there. You may have to go Jordan, bro. You just may.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna do, because you know I'm in my